For the first time, a current or former president is facing criminal charges. Former President Donald Trump was indicted yesterday. This is related to the hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels and another. 9 News legal analyst Whitney Traylor is joining us now. This was huge yesterday. Will this hold up in court?
This was huge. We were expecting it actually, though, the week before. And so will it hold up in court is going to be what we'll find out over the next year. I mean, this is going, his lawyers have vowed that they're going to fight this tooth and nail. He has the resources. So I suspect, unlike, even though this is minor in many respects, particularly compared to all the other cases he's looking at, they're going to, this will be dragged out.
We don't even know what's in the indictment, right? Like, it's sealed right now.
That's correct, but there's been a lot of reporting on what is actually coming down. And so essentially what it is there was the payment that Michael Cohen made to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal for $130,000 in October of 2016 as hush money, obviously. Well, when President Trump got into office, he then was repaying Michael Cohen $35,000 a month from his own personal account. And so what and they listed that payment as legal fees. And so that's really the issue, is falsification of business records, which is a violation of a New York penal code. And then they're putting together how there was campaign contributions used somehow, and then that escalates to felony.
I think a big question on a lot of people's minds is, can he still run for president? How does this affect his campaign?
Well, politically, I think he's probably going to use it to his advantage and say, look, this is more of the same. They're just, all they're caring about is coming after me. And on the other side, people are going to say, do we want a president who's been indicted, arrested, and potentially found guilty, if you will, if that happens. So politically, I think there's a lot to it, but legally, no, I don't think there's anything that would prevent him from running. Now, if there was an actual conviction, and let's say he was serving time, which I absolutely can't see happening on this situation, and he was elected, then there may be some issues about it, but then we have the 25th Amendment. So that's all, inference upon inference upon inference, but those are things that we're all trying to figure out, because this is unprecedented. And, I mean, the good that comes out of this is that we're figuring out our democracy. Like I used to tell my students, while he was in office, he pushed in so many different ways that these were things we had never had happen before, and now we do have precedent, and we're developing our democracy is developing right before our eyes.
Yeah, we're seeing like voices on both sides. He's obviously calling it a witch hunt. People on the Democrat side say this shows that anyone is, going to be held up to the law. So what happens from here? Walk us through like the timeline of what happens.
Right. So the next phase would be an arrest or a voluntary, presentation of himself. So I think that's what's going to happen. Presumably, the law enforcement in New York is working with the Secret Service and everything, but he will have to come in, probably to the DA's office, do the fingerprint and all that, and then there will be an arraignment where he'll presumably say not guilty, and then you'll start the flurry of motions and pre-trial situations before trial. So the next public thing is the arraignment. At that point, we will know, if the indictment is not unsealed before then, we'll know what the exact charges are at the arraignment.
Do we expect to see Donald Trump in handcuffs or not?
I don't think so. No, I would expect that there's some level of decorum between the Secret Service and law enforcement, but he's using this as such campaign rhetoric that he may actually want that. And there's something really scary about the campaign rhetoric, because he said, this is election rigging. He's saying they're trying to prevent me from going forward. And obviously he did that in 2020. And the problem with that is he's calling into question what really kind of binds us together and keeps us as a democracy, even as polarized as we are, is really two things. The judiciary, meaning that, hey, we still trust the judges no matter what, and our elections. Right. And he's really calling into question both of those issues, and I think that's a bigger problem on a larger scale.
Right. Such a huge, conversation, and clearly we'll see what happens next Tuesday when all of this, he's got to make his way to New York first, and then we'll go from there, I guess.
I'll keep my schedule open for next week.
Yeah, we're going to need you, I have a feeling.
Right.
Whitney. Thank you.
Thanks.